Hey everyone, it's Kristen with 30% Better, and I'm back with another Teaching Tip Tuesday because alliteration is awesome. So today I want to recap what I talked about in the first week because I didn't make a YouTube video for it. I just did an Instagram Live. So in case you missed it, this is your lucky day. I talked about 3 types of questions that you're going to want to ask during any kind of class or any setting where you're teaching someone. So this could be family home evening. This could be in a primary class. This could be just more of a casual setting talking with your kid, but you want some feedback from them. So these are 3 types of questions to ask. The first is explain. So we've got E.S.T. Explain is the first, and explain is the type of question where it's a basic idea, where you're asking them to share facts or just a really simple idea that doesn't require tons of thinking. And these are a great way to establish a class. This is probably how you're going to want to introduce your class to the idea that you're going to be asking for participation. So for example, you would say, how many of the lepers returned to thank Jesus? That's an E type of question. Or you could even say, why do you think only 1 leper returned? That's another E type of questions. Pretty basic, going to be easy for people to answer. So E for easy as well. Okay, then the S is share, and that's what I'm going to come back and talk about later. And then the last one is T, and that is testify. And this is a tricky one. I'm going to do another video on this one, but this is where you try and get someone to share their testimony of a principle that you're talking about. So let's go back to sharing. Share is like the big one because this is where you get class members to share their personal experiences or feelings about something, and it's fantastic because as a teacher, you want other people to be teaching as well. And especially if you're teaching the youth, they kind of zone out a little bit when adults are talking, but as soon as one of their peers starts to share a personal experience, they really zone in, they really start to listen, and that's when a lot of the learning happens. So I want to talk about how to effectively ask sharing questions. Now, what I've done in the past and what we all probably do is ask sharing questions like this. I'll give you an example. So it would be, oh, okay. So have you ever had a scripture just pop out at you and feel really important and really powerful at that time? So that's probably how most of us ask sharing questions. And that's fine. That'll get you some answers, and that's great. But a different way to ask, and something I found more effective, is this way. And it would be to say, when has a scripture really popped out at you and been very important to you? Now, it's a subtle difference, and it's actually something I noticed when I was watching President Eyring give a general conference talk. And I noticed, this was like 10 years ago, and I noticed that when he talked, he said things like, you have felt as I have, or you remember reading the account of. And I noticed when he said things like that, that I was like, I have felt that, really? And it made me think a little differently. And so I started applying that to questions I asked during classes, making these positive assumptions that people have had the spiritual experiences that you're talking about. And it makes a huge difference. It makes people in your class think differently. So when I ask, when have you, instead of have you, people start thinking, well, I have had that experience. When was that? Instead of, have I had that experience? Oh, probably not. So even if nobody answers the question, or even if you only get a few answers, people are thinking differently and they're having a different spiritual experience with the question that you're asking. And I found it really increases the participation in your class. So positive assumptions when you ask questions. So instead of saying, have you, or anything like that, you would say, when have you, or why does it matter to you, or how has it affected you that, or when was the last time? So positive assumption type of questions, and that'll increase your participation in your class, and then the other class members learn in much different ways. So that is it. E.S.T, that share, make positive assumptions, and we'll come back to the T and the E later. But that's it for today. Happy Teaching Tip Tuesday, and I'll see you guys later.